At the age of 9, I was taken to the slavery in which I spent 3.5 years of my life as a slave. These are the things most of us in Sudan, we don't talk about it because we come from a culture in which sometimes people don't talk about bad things. And indeed, when I got out from the slavery, I decided I'm not going to talk about it at all. The only 6 people knows it. My mom, my dad, my brother, and 3 gentlemen who helped make it possible for me to get out from the slavery. Until I came to this country, in which I read in the newspaper you can go to Sudan and buy a slave for $10. That brought everything back in me, in which I have to debate myself, and I didn't sleep for 3 days. For the simple reasons, how can I now go to bed and live in denial at the time that people are still being slaves? At the time that I'm in a country in which I can speak what I like, what I'm doing today, and nothing will happen to me. It was unfortunately, during my time, nobody spoke about what happened to me. But do I have to repeat the same mistakes? What happened to me is irrelevant, can never be changed, it is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, what about those innocents, those who have no voice? And believe me or not, being a slave, you don't know how to say no. All you know is yes. How can I be silenced? Houses being still burned, women still being raped, children being still taken in slavery, the most important, elders being burned alive, like what I saw at the age of 8 in southern Sudan, in which I saw my 3 elders in my village, after my village being raided by the Arab governments, burned down, and those 2 elders were burned alive. Unfortunately, at that time, we didn't have Brian to bring the picture to the world. But thank God today, we did have Brian with a small camera in Darfur. And today, the image are there. They can speak for itself. The government of Sudan can deny it. And believe me or not, being mentioned before, nobody is more clever and manipulator than the government of Sudan. When the slaughter took place in southern Sudan in the first war, because we're talking about 3 genocide. Sudan got independent from British in 1956, and the war started in that country in 1955. From 1955 to 1972, the government of Khartoum slaughtered 1.5 million Africans. Unfortunately, nobody even talked about it, and we didn't have members of the Congress like what we have today. But that has gone, because what happened will not be being brought back. Yes, it is true the war in the south was being conducted, that these are the infidels. Once killing the infidels, you are not being held accountable. Then what about now you slaughtering your fellow Muslim? Where is the Islamic world? Where is the fellow Muslim? Where are you?
Hey.
2.5 million whom are now in Darfur regions in the desert. I know Darfur, it is a place where human being cannot survive in a desert without a water. In Darfur today, you will not find a clean water. By sending these peoples in a desert as refugees, it is being done deliberately by the government. Let them go there and die. They can get away from the bullet according to the government, but they will not die, they will not survive, because government knows there is no water for these peoples. These 2.5 million, all of them are Muslim. Where are you, Arab League?
Right.
Where are you, you Islamic Conference?
Good question.
Where is your conscience? I'm not questioning your integrity in your faith, because I'm not a Muslim. But for God's sake, We are here today before the Congress. It was they, 3 years ago, all of the two parties declared that what happened in Sudan as a genocide. And we have to thank them for their courage. But my question to them, since the word has been used, what have we done? We want the special envoy to be appointed tomorrow, not 3 months like what the UN said. We want the United States government to take the leadership because the United Nations failed. I personally, I am the last person on earth to believe in the United Nations. For a simple reason, anybody who will believe in the United Nations, I will buy him a ticket and let's go to Rwanda. My fellow Americans, those victims in Darfur today, they are not counting on the UN, they're counting on you. And let us, our leaders, you members of the Congress, members of the Senate, the presidents, and I'm appealing to you direct, you have moral obligations to stand up as the leader of the free world. You have a moral obligation and to act now. And I'm asking you, my fellow Americans, let's get involved and be the voice. Let's speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. And most important, we are the peoples of the free nations. Let's lead by example. Thank you very much.